Hello, and here we are back about 2 hours later. The machine's been standing on its head with citric acid solution in the boiler, trying to resolve what I feel is low steam, working on the theory that we've got some scale plugging the top portion. Once the machine is all sealed, and you can shake it around and move it back and forth, but hopefully the action that we're trying to accomplish has been accomplished, but we're not, basically, as much as one would want, you're not done until it's working. So basically just dump out the citric acid solution. And at this point we just more or less hope for the best, is that we can get that steam up. Pour that out. Let's see if we've had any noticeable effect in here with this inspection light. Yeah, I can see that not much has changed down in the bottom.
I don't know if I'll be able to see anything.
You see this color here, this orange color? That's classic, the citric acid. It's been up here on the top of the boiler, that orange, just like on the brass parts that we soaked. But we'll go ahead and rinse it with some clear water. In the back of my mind, I kind of review the various things that we did to this machine, and one of them was polish the boiler in that vibratory tub, opening up the possibility that this port got clogged with those little beads.
Oh, that would be a pain in the neck.
Yeah, that would be a pain in the neck, but the thing is that you can go work backwards on all of these fresh seals, and if you have to take a part off to redo it, that's just the way it goes. We want to think that we're going to do things right the first time, every time. Especially when it's so pleasing when you put the machine all together and there's no hisses or leaks. You say it's done, but to pretend that that was adequate steam power would have been delusional thinking on my part. Wishful thinking. You're indeed going to get a more aggressive steam function with the boiler a bit fuller than I had it. So about up to there, it's about 2/3, and we'll leave this off because we want to polish it. And I'll go ahead and put this gauge back on to double check. Plug in. I do use a GFI on all of the machines. Be doubly sure. Make sure this is closed, and we'll let that heat up again and see what we've got. In the meantime, we've got this, and we've got a few more little things to do, some of which we'll show on the video. We've got I threw this handle in that vibratory polisher. It helped it a little bit, but you can see the dishwasher damage is still evident. So I'll give you these two items, and I'll take the camera because I'm not the polishing person. And excuse me.
Half-pitch semi-chrome polish, made in Germany. It's one of the absolute best polishes for bakelite plastic, whether it's black bakelite or fancy bakelite jewelry or bakelite handled silverware, boxes. You can see it's got a real dull finish to it.
The bottom especially, I noticed,
little bit
the
of
underside is really...
Pink. You just kind of put that, give it a swipe over, and then rub.
And this is the one you said had a little bit of grit.
Yeah. Not very much, though.
That's also, that's how you tell something's actually bakelite, too, isn't it?
Yes. It's one of the best ways to prove your bakelite is actually bakelite. Is that it goes from a pink color, the polish on the cloth goes from a pink color to a brown or amber, depending on what color your bakelite is.
So if you've got a piece of plastic and you want to know if it's bakelite, you use semichrome.
Dab a semichrome polish on a clean cloth and polish it up, and if you get the color changing, you have bakelite. If you don't, you have plastic.
Of course, you can look on the back of the knob where it says Alibac,
which is bakelite.
Very few things actually say bakelite on it. They just, it's a, what is it, a phenolic thermoplast?
Yes, it's a phenolic resin plastic developed by a man whose name was Bakelite.
You're kidding, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
What was his first name?
I don't remember.
Where was he from?
I don't remember that either.
Well, how did that one factoid stick in your head and the rest of it got away?
I think it had to do with bakelite jewelry, actually.
Was his name Bakelite, or was it?
It was
Bakelite or something.
No, it was Bake, B-A-K-E, I think. Now that you're asking me all these questions.
Oh, and the L-I-T-E was just to make it sound fancy.
Yes.
Maybe
so
he also
technically his name wasn't Bakelite.
Well, maybe he had a normal bake, like bake heavy or bake, full strength, like beer.
Interesting thing about bakelite plastic is that it changes color. The originally colored plastics. For example, you will never, ever, ever find vintage white bakelite plastic, because over time bakelite actually oxidizes on the surface and it changes color. And bakelite pieces that are butterscotch, light yellows, originally were a whiter, sometimes stark white, and over time they mellow into the yellow colors.
Does it turn, is it white if you slice it and look inside of it? Or
if you go far enough in, it will be.
And then there goes your vintage piece of jewelry.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good idea.
But you did prove a point.
The semichrome polish actually kind of, it doesn't really soften the surface exactly, but it reacts with the surface and what you're removing as you polish it, whether it's black or another color, you're removing the oxidation and the dirt.
And then a little of that yellow reactant stuff too.
There are other substances that you can use to test bakelite, but they generally damage the surface. Some people use Formula 409 bathroom cleaner, but it can ruin a piece of bakelite.
Or the dishwasher doesn't help it much.
No.
Dishwashers don't really help much of anything when you think about it.
No, they're not really good for very many things, except getting your modern dishes clean.
Well, I suppose domestic harmony might be.
Well, there's a lot to be said for domestic harmony. Not everybody appreciates hand-washing dishes.
Okay, well, this is
real exciting.
It's about like watching paint dry, but it's quite informative. Okay, well, the machine is heating up. We're going to see if we've solved that. Barb is polishing her bakelite away. We'll see how that worked out. So we'll be back when we have something more to say.